you'll be seeing a lot of me in the future. So the Strong Heart Study began in 1988 to study cardiovascular disease and risk factors among 13 American Indian tribes residing in North Dakota and South Dakota, Southwest Oklahoma, and Arizona. It's been continuously funded by grants from the National Heart, Lung, and Blood Institute, also known as NHLBI. Because of this relationship between NHLBI and Missouri Breaks, we have been asked to help facilitate a conversation between NHLBI and tribal leadership from the Dakota Strong Heart communities, which are Cheyenne River, Spirit Lake, and OST. And then just to give you a little overview about NHLBI, it is one of the institutes of the National Institutes of Health. It's the third largest NIH institute and allocates about $3 billion per year to research to advance the understanding of the development, progression, diagnosis, treatment, and prevention of disease. They are also committed to working with communities to reduce healthcare disparities within the American population and making healthcare systems more effective. So NHLBI has already met with leaders from Arizona and Oklahoma tribes. In mid-March, they'll be coming to our area, and they'll be coming to visit Spirit Lake on March 14th, Cheyenne River on March 15th, and the Oglala Sioux tribe on the March 16th and 17th, which is a Friday and Saturday. And the leadership coming for that visit include Dr. Daniel Stimson. He's the Chief of Science Policy, Outreach, and Reporting. Dr. David Wilson, who is Dene, and he's the Director of Tribal Health Research at NIH. And then Mona Pugel, she's the Project Officer for the Strong Heart Study, and she works in the Division of Cardiovascular Sciences at NHLBI. So Missouri Breaks is coordinating a listening session that NHLBI would like to have with tribal leadership and key tribal health personnel on Friday, March 16th. We have also gotten them on the agenda for the next OST Research Review Board meeting on March 17th. The intent of these meetings are to discuss the perceived benefits and challenges of participating in research studies, such as the Strong Heart Study, how the Strong Heart Study can have a more significant positive impact on participating Strong Heart communities, such as ours, and then they also want to discuss how NHLBI can work with community leaders to inform future directions and policies of Strong Heart and other research programs. And they're also very interested in developing a government-to-government relationship to build capacity and within the community, and to translate, utilize the newest and latest research for standards of care for our community, and to inform legislative policies and procedures. So this is a start to a new dialogue with them and a chance to talk about the Strong Heart Study and other health research priorities that we might have. The March 16th and 17th meetings would be a pre-meeting to set the agenda for a subsequent meeting between Dr. Gary Gibbons, who is the director at NHLBI, and tribal leadership such as President Weston and any other pertinent people that you think should be part of that conversation with the director. So I'm here to talk to you about the March 16th meeting, which will be on Friday. NHLBI would like to have a somewhat small informal meeting with whomever you think are the key people who should attend this meeting. And again, this meeting would help set the agenda for the later meeting with the director, Dr. Gary Gibbons. And I also want to mention that this is very significant that these high-level leaders at NHLBI who are from Bethesda, Maryland, are coming to our Native community to talk with our tribal leaders. And because, you know, of the significance, we felt that it was important to let you all know and decide who the key people should attend these meetings. And we wanted to get your input on this. I have also already talked to George Puyer, and she is planning on attending. We're looking at having the Friday, March 16th meeting at 10 o'clock at the Health Admin Building. And then we'll be presenting at the OST RRB meeting on the 17th, but we'll also be inviting them to the Friday meeting as well. And so I'm open for questions or any input that you might have about these meetings.
Richard Greenwald.
Questions? Comments, concerns?
Okay.
You'll be out there then on Friday then?
Yeah, Friday. And we did present to HHS few weeks ago, and I got a few names of some people who wanted to attend. I think Lydia was one of them, and I can't remember the others on the list, but, or Councilwoman Lydia, Bear Killer. So is there anybody else who you think should be some key people who should attend this meeting?
Other than the Tribal Health Administration, you know, I'm scheduled to be in DC that week.
Okay.
I'll be in Washington that week, unfortunately, but
Well, I just that.
have you visited with Mark Mearsmith?
We haven't. We wanted to get your input on that. I'm glad you brought that up. So we can visit with.
I know they should be involved.
Okay.
Be involved, yeah, should be interested in your studies and everything else.
Okay.
Just make contact with Mr. Mearsman and state that you visited with council and myself, and that we recommended that they be a part of this.
Okay. Great. I
Okay.
will get in touch with him. All right. Anything else? Any other questions or?
I'll be there.
Mr. Jim
Jim?
Meeks will be present. Councilman Jim Meeks. Oh, yeah,
Okay.
Jackie's here. Jackie's the representative from IHS.
Great. What's your last name, Jackie?
Jackie Big Crow.
Okay. Okay.
Okay?
All right. Well, thank you, and we'll be in touch as that meeting progresses.
And I'll make sure that I have somebody from my office be there too.
Okay.
But if you would give me that email, stop back into my office and get my email address so that I can be a part of this and
Okay.
then visit with Ann.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah, and then, like I said too, the director of NHLBI will be coming in. So this meeting is to kind of set the agenda
Okay.
for another meeting, which hopefully would include you and anybody else
If we
you
can
want.
plan it to the point where I can make sure that I can be here.
Be here?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, well, I'll be in touch with your office then
That'll
to,
work. Visit
to
with
coordinate
Ann.
that.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody.
Okay. All right. We have a quorum, but I don't want to, like I said. I'm going to stay with what I had stated earlier. Sonia?
Good morning, Council, and to our visiting audience. I had an honoring that I was to do this morning, but I don't see Mr. Graygrass here. I think he was on his way. Said they should be here in about 10 to 15 minutes, so I don't know, they might be en route, but as soon as he walks in, then I'd like to get that done. And I'll let you know when they walk in. Okay.
We have 10. There's what? Oh, yeah. We need 14. That's right. Yeah, we still do not have quorum. They're not coming. Stanley Little White Man.
Chairman, I think it'd be appropriate this time to request that the chief of police interviews be set for one day in itself. We do have 15 applicants. If we go Wednesday, if we go tomorrow, then maybe Thursday, so we could schedule a time frame for them so that they have specific times.
Okay. And then you'll set that all up for us?
Yeah, we'll set it up if we could get a definite date like Thursday.
Let's do it.
Okay, thank you.
You can confirm to your people that we'll do that, and then we'll have everything across the board done.
Okay, thank you.
So that'll be Thursday?
That'll be Thursday. We'll have the interviews. Yeah, we'll do council Wednesday, tomorrow, and then Thursday. And then we'll commit all of Thursday to just interviews for the chief.
So I'll do it Thursday, then I'll head out to the game.
That's fine. FYI. Craig Dillon is going to be at the bingo. Hey, well, yeah, we're not tomorrow and Thursday. I did think about it. I was going 100 miles an hour, but I should have called you. Somebody should have, but we're not going to do it. So it'll be tomorrow and Thursday. And you're probably going to be taking off Thursday early to go to the game. That's fine. That's fine. I plan on it.
I know, I could see that from here.
I get though, I'm just sitting there, they come in. I don't say that. You and Justin, I'm knocking off. Let's do that, get it up.
That week. It was originally 25. Call it or cancel it or do anything like this.
And Cora and Steph are coming in.
No.
Can I tell you one quick thing? Good, sir.
Let's pull out last year's track, our travel versus last month. That guy got $165,000. One person. And I want to talk to you about it. That's a drop in cost.
I was told 30 days, but I was asked.
They can do tomorrow. And then I just seen. Sonia, I just seen Ricky. Oh, yeah. Yep.
So I just talked to
Yeah, come tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow on Thursday.
you know what? I was concerned.
Hey, Austin.
Yeah, well, I was concerned with the application. Remember, he said they liked the application. He said it's a full steam ahead. He said our name record response. First But anyway, it's all good news, and so Mark called me and said, "Be sure to go tell Scott."
So I'll be in touch with you.
Okay.
I gotta sit down and look at my schedule of how,
Okay.
what kind of arrangements we can make.
Okay. 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 If you need something from me, let me know. Okay. Have a good day. When you know.
Console to
Good to see you.
Wednesday and Thursday. But these days just reserved for the chief police. I'll call him. So your notice will be for Wednesday will be the regular, and Thursday will be chief police interviews only.
President Weston. President Weston,
Yes.
we have our young man here that we wanted to honor through Wakbamni District, and he did make it here. I was kind of picturing a big boy. I didn't know he was this small. So I guess,
Do you want me to read?
yeah, I'll read a little thing for him, and then you can read this.
Okay, all right.
And then I'll read this just of him. But I just wanted to say that on behalf of the Wakbamni District, as well as the Oglala Sioux tribe, we'd like to honor this young man. His name is Ashnala Naji White Bull. He is the son of his Ina Brenda Wounded Arrow and his ate Justin White Bull. His grandparents are Charlene Black Horse and Horace Wounded Arrow, and Linda Feather Earring and Lincoln White Bull. Ashnala Naji White Bull is and has been in boxing since he was 4 years old. He is now 9 years old. Just at a young age, he got into the ring of boxing, which was the beginning of a sport that brought him to his greatest accomplishment in the sport of boxing. He started boxing here on his hometown on the Pine Ridge Indian Reservation, which took him to other states such as Colorado, Nevada, Washington, Idaho, Missouri, and no other than South Dakota, representing in the 9 years old division and weighing in at 113 pounds. In December of 2017, he left for Rapid City, South Dakota, again to represent the Oglala Lakota Oyate in the state division, where he became the state champion. In January of 2018, Ashnala moved on to regionals in Kenosha, Wisconsin, and again winning there and becoming the regional champion, which took him to nationals in February of 2018 in Independent, Missouri, where he became a Silver Gloves champion, ranking #1 in the nation in his weight and division, where he has earned a belt and also confidence that others can do the same, and being a young model for the Oglala Lakota Oyate. I would like to say Wopila to the ones who have donated and the fundraising for this to happen. And a Wopila Tranka to his coach, Ricky Graygrass, for taking his personal time out to coach not only Ashnala, but others who have been a part of the Lakota Nation boxing team. And with that, I'd like to turn it over to you, President Weston, for you to read his certificate. And we do have a star quilt here that we would like to present to Ashnala on behalf of the Oglala Sioux tribe.
Mr. Ashnala White Bull, as the president of the Oglala Sioux tribe, I want to honor you, and we want to honor you. You're my hero. You can smile because you need to be proud of what you do and what you're going to do even more. So I have a certificate. It's a certificate of honoring and appreciation, presented to Ashnala White Bull. The Oglala Sioux tribe holds in the high esteem those athletes who exemplify qualities of courage, bravery, fortitude, and generosity in everything they do, everything you do. in life. Ashnala qualified and won at the 2018 National Silver Gloves Boxing Championships. For that, he is a hero of all of the Oglala Oyate. Signed by me, Troy Weston, the president of the Oglala Sioux tribe, attested by the secretary, Donna Solomon, and we want to say thank you. Thank you very, very much. Mr. Graygrass, if you would offer us an honoring song, and council, if you would come around and shake hands with our hero.
Thank you, Council, and I guess I just want to say thank you to Ashnala, and I just want to say that you have a long road ahead of you, and I know one day you're going to come back into the circle, and maybe you'll probably even be sitting in here representing us as a leader. And I just want to say thank you to you, and you know, I know you're going to move up in your boxing career, and we might even see you on TV one day. So I want to just say, you know, congratulations to you on behalf of our Wakbamni district and the Oglala Sioux tribe. Thank you.
Thank you.
Rick, if you would like to say a few words, and maybe give Ashnala, our hero, if he wants to say something.
First of all, I want to say thank you, Council President Weston. This young man really works hard. You know, he always gets to practice. We practice Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. He gets to the gym about 6 o'clock, runs, jump rope, does all his cardio. We hit mitts. And then after we're done, you know, I got about 6 kids I work with. We have the gym from 6 to 9. And when we get done, he's the last one. He jump ropes. He runs laps again and gets ready. And for him, it's hard to maintain weight. You know, I got him when he was 89 pounds, and he just went up and up and up. And then at Nationals, we had to weigh in at 111. And so I starved him from here to Missouri. Gave him water and sunflower seeds, and that was all, orange juice. And whenever he got his belt and his sweater and his gloves, you know, that was the biggest moment. You know, I took kids to nationals before, got them nationally ranked in the top 5. But this is the first one that we have that's ranked #1 in the nation in his weight and age. And so, you know, he's hunted, you know, has a target on his back. And we was invited to Spokane, Washington last weekend, but my daughter was in the hospital. This weekend we was invited to Helena, Montana. He was gonna fight a boy from Hamilton boxing, but that fell through. So he's hunted, he has a target on his back. And a lot of young boys wanna challenge him. And so we're gonna be making a lot of trips to places. And you know, for me, that reward for me was to see that big smile on his face in Missouri. Thousands of kids from across the United States, Alaska and Hawaii that were there to represent their regions. And Saturday night when they called for the champions to get to the middle of the ring, it was a really proud moment for me. You know, he's my grandson. And for me to get up there and push him and to call his mom, don't feed him. Don't give him no steaks, no macaroni and cheese, you know, no noodles, no hot chips. You know, and for him to listen, you know, it takes a lot of discipline. But that night was really a proud moment for me. And so I'm really happy for him and for his mom and dad for entrusting me and coming to practice and being committed, and all the other kids that I have boxing for me. So again, I want to say thank you for Ashnala. He's going to be in action on the 17th at Billy Mills Hall. So if you want to come watch him, he's going to be in action at Billy Mills Hall on the 17th. The 31st, he'll be in action in Batesland, and on the 14th, he'll be in Porcupine, April 14th. So he's got a tough schedule ahead of him. We got a match in Denver. Hopefully we could make weight for that. So, you know, we do a lot of traveling. And again, I want to thank Sonia and all of the finance that helped us to get to Missouri and to make this dream happen for him. Wopila tanka yu achichap. Nope.
Thank you.
Once again, thank you, Ashnala. My hero. You're my hero. Yes, you are. You're my hero, Ashnala. You see that smile he had on his face? Craig Dillon, that was when he first got on council. That was Craig Dillon right there. Well, I think, you know, for time's sake, to get the BIA on the road, if you have time, we have the BIA and we have IHS here. You're not going to give his report? Well, we can have the BIA. John, why don't you step up there? Give your report while you're...
Good morning, everybody. I don't dare say the Q word, especially coming from law enforcement, but February was actually a quiet month. We had some issues that we've been meeting with the land committee on that we were able to get resolved. Probably the main thing that we've been trying to focus on in fire, we've actually completed our rookie camps, and we're well ahead previous year's pace at creating our hand crews and stuff, so we want to make sure that we get folks out on national fires a lot sooner than we did last several years. I believe the numbers are twice what they were last year, which is a positive. Typically, one of the things I've advocated for since I've been here is having our own sustainable hand crews going out to these fires and not having to co-op with the outside agencies, but that's kind of what we were forced to do the last few years. I'm pretty confident that this year that we're not going to be in a position where we'll actually have our own hand crews here from Pine Ridge. So I think that's a testament to the staff down there and actually getting these training programs started in January and February. Some of the positions that we received approval for to advertise at the agency, and I briefed you folks before on, we've got the 2 dam tender positions. Those were approved, so they should be advertised, I'm hoping, by Friday, as well as the legal administrative specialist, realty specialist, and we're working now with the land operations officer to hire 2 additional range techs. We had a meeting yesterday at Land Committee, and one of the concerns, not only from the tribe, but from the Bureau's perspective, is we just do not have adequate numbers to go out and do the compliance checks when requested by the allocation committee. So we're going to move forward with hiring those positions and be able to get a lot more of these compliance checks done timely. Requests that were received from the Land Committee was the number of existing businesses leases as well as residential leases compared to expired. That information was provided to the Land Committee yesterday, as well as an updated map of the land buyback sales, which was also provided to the Land Committee yesterday. I will also email a copy of the land buyback report. I believe I provided it before, but I'll make sure you folks get it again. And it's the same map that was provided yesterday. It's just the one in the book. Unless you've got a magnifying glass, it's pretty difficult to read the different tracks. So we tried to make it a little more legible for you folks to read. The report, like I said, probate has been extremely busy. Natural resources, like I said, the process of meeting with Land Committee yesterday is trying to put an end, or complete, I should say, not put an end to, but complete the bidding process, the allocation process. We've had a couple instances of appeals, but those have been heard by the administrative law judge, so those are being addressed timely. Realty, again, nothing specific. One of the questions that was brought up earlier was the appraisal process, so make sure everybody's aware of the appraisal process. Right now, as I'm understanding, we have one individual, or 2 individuals, I should say, out of the Aberdeen area that are actually doing the appraisals, so they're fairly backed up for what I'm told, but some of the options that are given to folks as they come into our office is that the individuals, for the sake of not having to wait on a BIA, is that they have the opportunity to get their own appraisals as long as they meet the standards that the Bureau US PAP standards is what I'm informed. So that's an option. Otherwise, we've been pressing the folks in Aberdeen to try to get these appraisals done a lot quicker. And it's just like I said, they're telling us there's only 2 folks in the entire region that do the appraisals. So that's kind of where we end up getting stuck. Slash piles. I provided briefings on the slash piles being done by our fire program. Over 500 is what we've done so far. Over 500 slash piles on different programs. And I know there's been some questions as to different areas of the reservation. Under that RTL program that is administered by fire, it's required that we have to get permission from the landowner, and some of that stuff has been on non-trust, but we also can do those programs on tribal unallotted land. So, and we've just, from what I'm told by our fire crews, haven't got a request. So if you folks know of anyone that has a specific request to go out and have us do the clearing under this RTL project and the burning of those slash piles, then our staff will definitely go out and do those. So just have them submit the request to Tamara at Fire, and then we'll schedule it to start those projects on tribal trust land or allotted land. I know that wasn't addressed. Self-determination, she was, we didn't know we were having it, so I told her not to come over. But I will bring her tomorrow. I'll bring her over tomorrow. If you give me a minute when you start, I can bring her over and introduce her to everybody. We're in the process now. We're trying to determine, we're having a conference call this afternoon to determine which of the contracts we're going to initiate here and start managing here at the agency level. So we've got, like, as you know, multiple 638 contracts. We're trying to figure out and work it in slowly as far as the smaller contracts, emergency use shelter, some of those smaller ones where it's not a lot of funding. Facilities management, one of the things I've advocated forever, and for those of you that know, we don't have a large staff in facilities, but we're tasked with not only managing the Bureau's agency buildings, but also some of the tribal buildings, OST Roads Department, the Roads Office out in Kyle, secondary duties to our contract schools in Allen and these different places. One of the huge ones that we're trying to work with them on is the backlog. For those of you familiar with the maximal backlog, it used to be famous. We're trying to encode all of our old work tickets into that so we can get some of that funding to these different programs. And so, again, there is training. I know that was a sore spot for the tribe. as far as having to go all the way to Albuquerque, and I agree. I think the closest place we can do the training where it would meet the minimum requirements is in Aberdeen, sadly, because of the computer lab that we have on the 7th floor up there, where they can do. Okay, I can check on the peer. I wasn't aware of the peer in the Learning Center, but we can check on that one. That's basically it, folks. If there's any questions, you can take a look at the report and ask away.
About the, Don was asking about communities, so like, maybe like a bridge all the way through IHS turnoff creek areas, but you'd need a request?
No. Actually, in that one, that's a good question too, and I guess I could have expanded on it. We actually have a fuels project that's already pre-approved, and they've already included a lot of those things, and I'll check and see if that's part of it, but if it's not, we could add it to the list.
You know, maybe it's been about 2-3 years ago, they talked about a cleanup in Pine Ridge Village and some of the alleys because of the MPPD trucks couldn't get to the poles or, you know, that type of thing. And the alley back where I live, we cleaned that up. We made a big pile. I mean, it's a huge pile back there. And I think they did it over back behind where Junior Vitalis lives. I know there's different areas that had complied and cleaned up their alleys. And we've been waiting for that for somebody to burn it. But, you know, I don't know what the district chair did at the time. But that was the understanding that we had. They were going to come down and burn those piles, those slash piles, I guess you could call it too. I don't know.
I can definitely follow up with fire. I know the discussions I had with the FMO was that we wanted to initially focus on the housings in the interior parts of the housings where a lot of those playgrounds and stuff are, and then we were going to work on those types of areas. But definitely we can work on that for sure.
But I think if they're ready, I mean, they're piled up, it's piled up, ready to go. The only thing good about it being there now is I don't have these guys that they're chasing running through my alley.
They're running through mine now.
Yeah.
No, we can definitely work on that. As soon as we're done here, I'll meet with the FMO and find out where we're at as far as the scheduling. I think what we'll do is ultimately post it too, and if I can provide it to the tribe, maybe you can put it on your Facebook page, a schedule of the areas that we'd like to hit, so folks are aware we're not going to be out there doing these fuels projects.
So you have a document?
Yep.
Your plans
Yep.
signed and certified and approved?
Yep.
Ready to go? How many people are you hiring?
For the fuels project, I don't know specifics numbers right now. We just finished hiring some temporaries, and I think it was only 4 because of the qualification standards. So if you folks know anyone that we're trying to hire, we are trying to hire a lot of folks. I just was meeting with the president this morning on the Bear project. For those of you familiar with the Wombly Timber Fire, we've got over $200,000 that was approved to go out and do the fence repair and do the reforestation projects, and we're working on a plan to turn that money over to the tribe so the tribe can hire temporary employees to go out and do that project for us. But I think at the last count, to answer your question, we were looking at 10 for the fuels projects. So, and I think we've only qualified 4 or 5 at this point. And it's just a matter of either not completing their paperwork, some of them didn't turn in their security packets, and it's just we're constantly having to remind some of them.
So if you go and put in for, you want the fuel program to come out to your range units, to your valleys, and do some litter clearing and stuff. How long will that take before they come out and do that?
I mean, essentially, it can be fairly quick. It's just a matter of first of all, on the fuels project, like I said, like President Weston said, we have to submit a plan for approval to the regional FMO. And I can go back and verify what was all included in that plan. And I know, for example, all the creek lines through Pine Ridge was approved in last year's plan. We were going to clean out, starting actually at the dam and work our way all the way into Pine Ridge, clearing the creek line. So if it's not in there, I'm sure there's no reason why we couldn't do an amendment if it wasn't in our original plan and get the regional FMO to approve it, i.e. the alleyways and stuff like that. And I think it'd probably be best if we kind of created a partnership with either roads or natural resources so we can kind of combine our tools and be able to clean up some of this stuff. But I'm open to doing whatever to help those folks.
So would you be willing to, like, that's where I'm getting to. You know, some of these, like the road department, just employer, fuel, motor fuel program, construction, you'd be making an agreement with them to come out and do some trails for you, or what are you talking?
However you folks want to do it. I mean, we talked about under that project, we can pay those individuals as long as they meet some of the requirements under the fire program. If we have fires, we have different things, we request assistance from the tribe. We can pay those blade hours, we can play all of these different hours and reimburse them back to the tribe under those fires.
So the reason why I wanted you to say that, because some of them, the road departments were getting a runaround and trying to get reimbursed for dropping their blades in the dirt there in the Wombly.
Yeah, no, that stuff's all reimbursable, so if they submit something to us.
But you won't pay them.
I've never seen it, so they can submit it to me,
Well,
but
I'll talk to them, because they told me they submitted the work.
yeah, I haven't seen it. So I don't know who they submitted it to, but we had a discussion earlier, so you folks are aware. We've had some of our landowners out in Wombly that have actually gone and repaired their own fence lines as part of the timber fire. I was told by Mr. Rasmussen that those folks can actually be reimbursed for what it cost them to do those repairs. So we had a discussion this morning in the president's office. If they can provide us some type of document to say, hey, I bought 20 poles and 1,000 feet of barb, whatever, that stuff can be submitted for reimbursement. So I'm glad. Yes. Yep.
Jim Meeks.
I said an invoice.
I mean, at this point, we'd have to take them at face value. I mean, if somebody submitted something to say, hey, I redid it, obviously, we would probably go out and verify the work to make sure that was done. And if it was, sign off on it. And then right now, we're trying to figure out how we're going to utilize that funds. So I recommended either, applying it to the 60-day contract with Natural Resources or aid to tribal government and let the tribe put together some hires to go out and do that stuff. But to answer your question, I think as long as we can verify it, some folks may have receipts, but obviously, most folks that I've spoken with over the last 6 to 8 months, I doubt they did. They just, like you said, had stuff available so they could fix it because they were more concerned about keeping their cows in.
Okay.
Thank you. Just one question, what's the status? You have somebody to come check that Oglala Dam for now?
Yes, the Oglala Dam, and I'm glad because I don't think we ever got on the air, and I wanted to make sure because there's been a lot of misinformation put out there in the community. So, and I'll start real quick. We noticed some sinkholes on the north side of the spillway after doing our monthly checks, because right now we were currently required to do a monthly check on the dam. Once we found that, we contacted the engineer in Aberdeen, we contacted Bureau of Reclamation, they sent out an engineer, and we did some dye samples of the spillway in Oglala. We found multiple leaks along the spillway, believing that the water was coming underneath the spillway. So what ended up happening was we activated an emergency action plan, and all that basically entails is the Bureau going out and do daily checks and documenting and report and photographs to BOR and our BIA engineers in Aberdeen. Where we're at now is BOR will be coming out in end of this month or April, and they're going to do sample checks at the spillway, meaning they're going to drill holes into the spillway to see if sediment has come underneath the spillway. So the option at this point, as I understand it, 2008 repairs were done to that spillway by a local contractor, and we're not sure if those are the issues from 2008 or if it's something new. So by doing these drill tests and these pocket tests, they'll be able to determine if these are new sediment coming underneath the spillway and causing those leaks. They've asked a few things of us as far as providing for BOR, and it's like gravel, some different things that we have to provide for them when they come out. And they're going to make the determination based on a review then if we're going to do a partial repair of those drain lines, or if we're going to do a full rehab of the entire spillway. But that decision won't be made until there's no threat at this point. I know a while back when we were given direction by the engineer to release water out of the dam because they wanted to make sure that it was dry when the engineer came out, so that's why we released water. We released it at a quarter, and I know there are some areas along the dam that went out east of or north of White River. There were some beaver dams that held it up, So that was one of the issues why you saw some of the water, but the main concern being by the bridge west of Oglala. That is actually, from what I'm told, that's actually a waterway. So, you know, the fact that there was water, there wasn't out of the norm, it's just usually not enough to flow that large, which it ultimately did in this case when we released the water. So right now, there's no water being released out of Oglala. We've been monitoring it. I had conversations with Steve Wilson from Emergency Management, President Weston over the weekend. Because of the warm weather we had and the runoff, we had a huge amount of water damming up on some of these cricklets. So it didn't, we were confident, or still are confident, that there's enough space in the Oglala Dam to accommodate the amount of runoff that we foresee coming. So, but we are monitoring it every day to make sure that it's not above what it should be. But it's not even close to the bridge, to the peak of the spillway, so I think we're fine. But that's kind of where we're at with the Oglala Dam. So, any questions?
Anybody? Sonia?
Just a quick question. John, I was just looking at your farm pasture leasing. So if we have any questions, I think on a farm pasture lease, who would we see at the BIA?
Patty Yellowboy is our realty officer, and her office handles the farm pasture leases.
Okay. Do you have pending contracts mailed on 17?
Yeah.
So you still haven't heard nothing back from those?
And some of them that were awarded, and we had a discussion with land committees specifically on one yesterday. Some of those folks have not even returned their contracts. So that's kind of what we're waiting on in a lot of those instances.
Are you going to give them 30 days or are you going to re-advertise?
We're re-advertising some, but yeah, we're not going to wait. I mean, they're given a time frame to turn in the contracts and pay, and some of them haven't, so we're going to move forward and re-advertise for it.
Yeah. Have you got any requests from the Fort Belknap tribe, the Blackfeet tribe, or tribes up that way for assistance of any kind?
None, not at all. I've been monitoring the Blackfeet blizzard, as probably everybody has. I know the Bureau up there has been providing assistance, at least in Montana, but we have not gotten any requests here at the agency.
Okay. So I got a call last Thursday about wanting to know if we could afford some hay up that way because they've got 10 and 12 feet of snow on the ground. Yeah. Yep. All you can see is the top of the roofs of houses. So that's why I was wondering.
Yeah, we have not got any here. I don't know if they have contacted the region maybe, but we haven't got any local requests from Blackfeet or Fort Belknap.
So there was even talk because we've got a snow cap.
Yeah.
And they wanted to know if I could afford that snow cap to go that way. But, you know, my thing was who's going to pay for it. You know, are we going to get reimbursed? I didn't care about the machine itself, but are we going to send our people up there, or what? You know, I didn't want to commit anything if I didn't have.
And I don't know that FEMA's made any declarations. I'm sure they probably have at this point, just because of the amount of snow they received. But a lot of those reimbursables, I think, would fall under FEMA.
Because I was talking to the former chair, Tracy King from the Fort Belknap. Scott, he said, we're in a world of hurt. He said, but Blackfeet north of us are worse than us. He said, I know they're just trying to find cows where they can and horses where they can. They're cutting trails to get cows and horses to a safe place. So that's what I was wondering. Anything else?
Thank you.
Dave Poyer.
I say that, you know, for myself, and I don't know how the land committee does, but in working with the Bureau, John and the staff from Realty and Land Operations, and every time we request them for land, that they always come. I'd like to thank them for coming. We do work pretty close with that office, but I'd like to thank them because although we do some have misunderstandings and things like that, but we do appreciate them reporting because the land is very important. There's something that could be said that we don't want to get on the air or even on camera because there's been some bidding going on. It's been getting pretty ridiculous, and in the long run, our operators are going to suffer in the long run. That's the way I look at it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you.
All right. We did get a nursing home report, they just passed that out. So with that, I guess we're finished for the day.
Great, wants to go for something to eat.
I'm gonna try this out. It works. Oh, the other thing too is, you know, was it not the last meeting, but the meeting before council took action to hear the complaint. You know, they accepted the complaint on Judge Bart. Well, there is still a case in court. So we you know, and I got a letter from Charlie Abra yesterday in the emails stating that we should refrain from that until and not take any action because it is considered section 19. So we need to refrain from that and not take any action and just leave it alone until they decide that court case, and then we can move forward to whatever we got to do with it. So I'll get you, when we get done, come in my office and I'll get you a copy of that, and we can go from there. I wanted to get it to you today, but you know how that office gets in the mornings. So
One quick thing.
quick thing.
Thinking about Blackfeet, you know, I don't think they've really experienced all the disaster type stuff that we've experienced, so they probably don't have knowledge of how to try to get FEMA declarations and stuff. Maybe our tribe can provide that technical assistance to them, paperwork process or something. I think they're probably at a loss because this is the first time they've encountered something.
Sure, and that's why I talked to Steve Wilson about that a little bit. So I told him, I said, I will find out what we need to get done. I said, you may be loading up and going north, you know, because it is. I've got some friends up there, and they were calling and saying,
I just like to make, for those of you that might not hear about it,
Did you get everybody?
the 18th and 19th, you guys are making the announcement, is that the buffaloes to be delivered to Ashnala? Yeah, ceremony's going to go on.
Well, the Ashnala ceremony of the giving of the buffalo, the ceremony is on the 19th. So there,
Weather permitting.
yeah, weather permitting. You never know about that, but, on the 18th, Buck him and his dad, Skinny Clone, were going to pick up the buffalo and take them to Ashnala. Because I did talk to Buck on Friday when I was going to Rapids, and he confirmed, he said, Scott, I have good crowds. And we're going to put them in with the existing buffalo so they don't get wild. He said, and then we'll have Friday morning at 8 or 9 is when they're going to start everything to make sure that everybody gets there. So he said, we'll get everybody there and we'll have our official ceremony at the giving. So everybody's in place, so Dave's going to lead the charge. Sonia?
Saturday, I kind of stepped outside of my comfort zone Saturday and went on a snowmobile Saturday and got to see Ashnala. Yeah, got to go on top of a ridge there.
Yep.
And so we got off and walked over the ridge and you can see Ashnala all there. So sometimes we have to do that. Step outside our comfort zone and do some, things, So just wanted to share that, Saturday might take a snowmobile ride with my husband out in the Black Hills.
Yeah, there's a lot there. Oh, one last thing before I leave. March 15th and 16th. Remember, we have the last meeting, the planning meeting for the commemoration of the signing of the Fort Laramie Treaty Ceremony on April 28th and 29th, and that week, the 29th is that Sunday. That's the official signing date of the treaty. So there's a process. All of the tribes are starting to call. There's been planning meetings. There've been 4 of them with the Park Service, because they're setting up a process. But all of the tribes are starting to come together. But everybody's trying to ride in different directions. So that's why I met with, because Harold Fraser stopped in to see me last Tuesday, and he wanted to know what we were doing, because they want to come here and ride with us down there. They want to ride in. So I talked to Window Yellow Bull. I talked to Davey. I talked to Jim Meeks, different ones, and who's ever going to ride, however, we'll start. We want to put our horses, everybody stop right here. And I'm going to meet with Window next week and find out and figure out the route, because the original route that BAM used to use, they don't use that anymore, because the guy that they used to let them camp on these land hire on Beaver Wall, he died. He passed away 2 years ago, and yeah, and so the family sold that land, and they can't get access to that, so they had to find a different route. But I told Harold the other day, I said I would sit down with Window and we would go find out where we'll go to the city or the county or whomever and get some right-of-ways just to let us ride through their country. And then we can get through there, and then we could camp wherever we have to. But we want to get there on a Friday, that 27th. And then they want to have a ceremony, an EP on Saturday, and then do that everything on that Sunday, the 29th. Then there's supposed to be some meetings after that, 2 or 3 days after that. So
they want to go down after by the river where the actual
yeah. Yep, and that's the plan, and that's why we're going to make sure that they do that on the 15th and 16th in Rapid City.
Of March?
Yeah. Jim.
You know, this is going to happen in April. Who's going to furnish the hay for 1,000 head of horses?
Well, that's what we talked about.
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of horses.
So my thing was, I was going to talk this last meeting, because Jim and I and Davey, we asked about hay. We asked about who's cooking for 1,000 Indians, because they talked about at least maybe 1,000 riders alone, and that's not counting the amount of family members that are tied to them riders that are going to come in. And so there's going to be this big group of all of us coming from the different tribes, and they're even talking, everybody meet here, then we ride down there together. Because Rosebud, they had 2 factions, they want to ride 18 and come here and beat us. There's another one that wants to start at Valentine, ride Highway 20. I said, well, however you want to do it. I said, but I don't want it to fall on our laps, and I don't want to have to foot everybody's bill. And I said, Harold, I know you're just going to bring you guys, because I know you got no money, I said.
So the state of Wyoming don't allow imported hay. You have to buy their Wyoming hay. So that's being worked on as far as who to contact and trying to buy some.
And that's why this last meeting up here is going to take place.
And then the cost of the cognizance test is going to be coming up. And
well, we talked the cognizance test, and then they've got to have a health certificate. Plus, they're going to have a brand inspection, because their horses are going across state lines.
So that's a lot of the riders, they can't afford a cognizance test on 1 or 2 of their horses, let alone. So how are we going to work that? What we're going to do?
That's where this meeting will figure out a price, because Scott Hicks was calling me, and he was calling me this morning. He was going to get me some, I talked to him already. We're already starting that process of where we can meet, how we can do this, but we also got to get that. Plus we got to find, and Wendell said he could line up the vet. I don't know if he's going to use Terry Bagan or who, or if they're going to use Rushville Veterinary Clinic, Jeff Urquiaga. So I don't know which one they're going to use, but they were going to figure out how to go and then bring it back, and then we could figure out how we can do this. So there's a lot to be considered.
Bring your Broncos. Have bring your Broncos.
Ella John.
One thing before we leave, who did they select for the area there?
Nobody yet. We went to, they gave us 4 after we screened 12 applicants in Denver when you guys had chaos here. I just had to throw that in. But that day we screened 12 of them, and we whittled it down to 4 applicants. One of them was a guy by the name of I got him on the phone here. I'll get the names here.
So on some of these group letters, like our reservation group people, they already have what they call designated family cooks. And usually when they come together, we got one guy out of California that's been participating this past couple of years that does mass cooking. So like for Marv and them, his daughter takes care of a big, good-sized group.
Well, we can talk about that up there.
You know,
but the 4 applicants that were there was one of them was the guy by the name of Babak Nairi. You ever hear of him? He's been in the system. He's a villain.
Sounds like it. Yeah. Sounds like it.
No, but and then there's a lady by Linda Boudreau. She's from the Red Lake tribe.
Boudreaux?
No, Boudreau.
I know what I mean.
Yeah, that's what I thought too, but it's Boudreau. And then a guy by the name of Carmen Cirillo Cleland. He's from the Oklahoma tribe. His name is Carmen. I've never heard of him. And then there was this Thomas Kelly. The Nairi guy, he's from he's from Tehran. The Badoa lady, she's from Red Lake. The Cleland, he's the Oklahoma Sac and Fox and Chickasaw. And then there was a Tom Kelly from Alabama, white guy, had his car salesman. I just told him, get him out of here. We don't need something like that. He had this great big, long, massive, impressive resume, but he knew absolutely nothing about Indian IHS at all. Nothing about tribes. You know, everything he told about was we asked each one of them specific questions that were tailored to see what they knew, and he knew nothing about. We threw out our treaties, and you could tell whatever he had. He read a chapter of something, and he blurted that out, and then he talked about the IHS mission. He blurted that out two sentences, and then he looked like he wanted to go back to the bar and have another drink. He was that nervous.
President Weston, I don't know if everyone, I guess, probably knows by now, but they didn't accept Robert Weaver's nomination as the director of the overall director.
Well,
they didn't even get in the door. I mean, actually, they didn't even consider him, even though President Trump nominated him. He didn't even make it to the Senate of Indian Affairs.
Well, and it came from a lot of congressional that knew who he was from the East Coast.
So I think it was a lot of the feedback that the media was putting out on him.
It was all that Facebook media that was out there.
IHS, yep. Like he was saying. So even though the tribes supported him, we did too. I guess they didn't even accept it.
Yeah, so we don't know what's going to happen.
Who did they select?
I guess there's
3 considerations there.
Senator Udall out of Utah was saying on there that we need to get a strong leader in there. So based on the government-to-government relationship, we're going to start pushing to get somebody in there right away. So right now, he isn't even considered Robert. Yeah.
Okay, all right. So we're finished right now, people. Till tomorrow morning. Thank you.